This presentation will help you understand Edgar Allan Poe's life, his writing style, and a little bit about the poem Annabel Lee that we will be studying. The poem Annabel Lee was first published on October 9th, 1849. The setting of the poem is a fictional kingdom along an ocean shore. It's a beautiful land of enchantment, paradise on earth, where the narrator and Annabel Lee fell in love as teenagers. This kingdom where love ruled their hearts remains dear to the memory of the poet after Annabel Lee dies, for his soul remains united with hers. The main characters are the narrator, a man of deep sensibility, who praises a young maiden with whom he fell in love. Annabel Lee, who is the beautiful young maiden loved by the poet. She was high-born and probably represents Poe's wife, who died at a young age. Seraphists are members of the highest order of angels around the throne of God. In the poem, they are so envious of the love between the narrator and Annabel Lee that they cause Annabel Lee's death. Rhyme and repetition. The lines of the poem alternate in length between a long line, usually 7 to 11 syllables, and a short line, usually with 6 to 8 syllables, as in the first stanza. For example, it was many, many a year ago is 11 syllables. In a kingdom by the sea is 7. That a maiden there whom you may know is 10. By the name of Annabel Lee is 8. And this maiden she loved with no other thought is 11. Then to love and be loved by me is 8. The rhythmic pattern might suggest the rise and fall of tides. Repetitive key phrases such as in this kingdom by the sea and my Annabel Lee create haunting refrains. Their repetitive words are word patterns within a single line, as in many, many a year ago, we loved with a love that was more than a love, and my darling, my darling. Poe further enhances the rhythm of the poem with the repetition of consonant sounds or alliteration. Notice, for example, the repetition of the W and L sounds in this line in stanza 2. But we loved with a love that was more than a love. Poe sometimes couples repetition of consonant sounds with repetition of vowel sounds, as in many and many, love and be loved, and those who were older than we. Word choice. Poe carefully chose the words of the poem to evoke a dreamland or fairy tale atmosphere. For example, it was many and many a year ago echoes the traditional fairy tale opening of Once Upon a Time. The words kingdom, maiden, and child then lead the reader into the Never Never Land, with kingdom suggesting chivalry and romance, and maiden suggesting innocence, and child suggesting the wonderment of youth. Although he first uses sepulchre in stanza 3 to refer to Annabel Lee's burial chamber, then repeats it in the 7th line of stanza 6, he uses tomb in the last line of the poem to refer to her resting place. Tomb has a more ominous connotation, suggesting finality. Poe's use of alliteration. Poe relies heavily on alliteration in Annabel Lee to create pleasing sound patterns. Following are examples of alliteration in the poem. That the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. The alliterating words are came, cloud, and killing. Another one is, but our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. The alliterating words was, were, we, wiser, and we. Who does not alliterate because it has the H sound, even though it starts with a W. The imagery of darkness and light. Implied and explicit images of darkness and light occur throughout the poem. Poe implies that the kingdom by the sea is a bright, cheerful place where the sun shines on two young lovers. Ironically, in another realm of dazzling light, heaven, the highest order of angels grow dark with envy of the young couple, and the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. but the narrator said he remains in a realm of light, for his soul and the soul of Annabel Lee are one. In the last stanza, Poe emphasizes his point with light imagery. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. Thus, his beloved becomes the moon and the stars shining down on him from the sepulchral night sky. Now you are ready to read, enjoy, understand, and analyze Annabel Lee.